Hello and welcome back to I'm Right, He's Ron. New episode with my co-host Tanyel, my bestie.
Where's the beautiful?
You don't need beautiful every time I intro you.
You said it last time and I really liked it.
Yeah, I was just feeling nice. Last time I felt nice. Today, maybe not so much.
It must have just been a good day, guys.
How has your week been?
Completely shit. So shit. Honestly.
Lovely. Really positive.
I know.
For
I'm
the
so
podcast.
sorry. Like, guys, normally I am the most positive person, right? But oh my god, like, you know when just everything goes wrong and they say like things go wrong in threes, like for example, and like this week was just shit amongst shit. Honestly, it just got worse.
Well, what went wrong?
So just little things like, for example, like my passport. I hate inconveniences, you know. But like my passport, I realised I got a text from Eddie saying, babe, you've only got 5 months. There's 5 months left on your passport. I was like, oh my God, trust me. Yeah.
Well, you going away?
So don't you think they rob you for that extra 6 months? Like, what's the point in that? Why'd you put the expiration date as that? Why don't they just do it soon? I don't get that. So I was like, oh my God, was fully booked with clients. So I was like, oh my God, I actually have no time to go pick this up. It was a long thing. Like, I literally had to get Eddie's uncle to go and pick up my passport.
Did you do the speed process?
Yeah, I had to.
Oh, you did that?
It's just a nightmare. So I had to sort that out. Luckily, if it weren't for him, I honestly would have just cried. And then the other day, right, not to try and make things like concerning, or it might just be something minor, but I was like checking myself out in the mirror.
Shock. Shock.
No, but I was checking myself out in the mirror, guys. And I was like feeling, I don't know if girls do, maybe it's just me who does this a bit weird. But I was trying to do like this whole lymphatic drainage massage, because I've been taught that if you've got a double chin or like you're a bit chubs here, which I am, that you can do this little massage here and it can make you skinnier. And then I found a lump, but 2 lumps. Literally, and it was like a hard round ball. Like, it's so hard. It's actually quite like, it's made it go bigger here because it's quite swollen, but unless you grab underneath my jaw, you wouldn't be able to feel it. But once I do and I grab it, it's like a hard lump. So you know, like, you should never Google things. Well, obviously I did.
You self-diagnosed and it was telling you that you're dead.
But no, I'm actually really worried. And like, normally I'm never worried about these things. I'm always that positive person. But a few months ago, right, I had like a rash all over my legs randomly overnight and bruises all over, and I ended up in A&E because I called my doctor up and he was like, go doctors, like A&E right now, because they'll get your blood test quicker than like we would. And I was thinking, do I go there? Do I just quickly go private and go central? But they were basically saying like, central was saying like within the next day you would get it. A&E, if you just stay there, yeah, you're there and it's long and it's inconvenient, but you get it the same night. Yeah, because apparently I think that could be lymphoma cancer. I don't know I think that's what it's called, but yeah.
You've definitely chat GPT'd this.
No, I literally Googled this, but so I went A&E, and then they just quickly done like a blood test for me, and everything come back okay. So I didn't think anything of it, and that was like then. And then a few months later, obviously now, I found like 2 hard lumps, but like they're really hard. And when I'm Googling things, I know you should never really like Google because it just tells you that you're going to die.
Well, normally it just says like hard lumps, I'll just assume cancer.
Yeah.
Because that's what you always have to test for.
Exactly. And they were saying like if it's not mobile, sorry, if it's mobile, yeah, so if it's not mobile.
What does that mean? If it just moves about in your jaw?
So if it moves about, apparently, yeah, exactly. But if it moves about, then it's okay. Like, it means that it could just be like a swollen lymph node or something like that. But if it doesn't move, my mom weren't moving. Like, it's rock hard.
There's me just testing my jaw.
It literally just said like cancer. You know, just everything's so scary when you Google it. And then it said other signs of it. Rashes, itchy legs for no reason, all these kind of things, yeah, and like bruises everywhere. I was like, oh my God. So when I put that all together, I'm like, oh my God, what's happening?
Yeah, but the rash was from a couple of months ago, right?
Yeah,
and then pairing the two.
Yeah, so I'm just like, what the hell? Like, just a few of the symptoms though, like tiredness. But then I thought I have been really working a lot lately and doing a lot. So I don't know, I just panicked a little bit. But yeah, I went to the GP the other day. She felt it. She did actually reassure me and make me feel a little bit better. She was like, I'm not going to like completely rule it out, but I think it's fine.
Yeah.
She was like, I just think it's like you've got swollen lymph nodes. And I was like, but I've never had that before. Like, so random. She goes, some people do get it.
What is it? Like, did she say what it is? I've got no idea.
She said
like
that sometimes.
What is that? Just a build up of something?
She said sometimes when your body's like trying to fight off something, that apparently your lymph nodes, it shows that they're working, like, because it's like how do I explain it, when like your body's trying to fight something off, and that's what happens instead apparently. But I was like, but I'm not ill, like I don't feel ill. Like I said, I felt like a little bit tired, but I didn't feel ill.
Just fighting off your annoying personality, really, isn't it? Just constant working overtime.
So then I am still a little bit worried, but this morning I went for a blood test. So we should see in a couple of days. But I just feel like either way, surely they should do like an ultrasound. And I asked for that.
Yeah, but ultrasound might not be for what, I don't know.
Well, no, it would see, like, it would give you better like diagnosis, just to, I think, just to clear my mind. But I've just never had anything like that, and it just really scared me. So I just feel like it just makes me think as well, like, people really need to actually check everything, because you just never know.
Like, obviously the only thing that I guess gets pushed into my brain, but only because over the years, but it's just like, obviously as a bloke, you're meant to feel your balls.
We're meant to feel our boobs. I don't feel anything.
Oh, so you should. See, like every now and again in the shower, I'll just like I'll have a little cup. And
Have a little play.
I'll have a little play. I'll have a little play in the shower and I'll see if I can feel anything. But I mean, touch wood, I've not found anything. I just wouldn't even know though. Like even if I'm the type of person which is really bad, that I would just go, oh, give it a couple of days, it'll probably go. And even if it doesn't for probably a month, I'll probably be like, maybe it'll just go. Like, is there a cream I can get? I just wouldn't. I don't know. I just wouldn't. I hate the doctors so much because I've spent so much time in the doctors on an operating table. I just don't like going to. It's such a horrible place to be. I know it's not meant to be nice, and if you've got something, check. But I'll refuse to go to the doctors if I have anything unless it was serious, unless it was proper serious, unless I really thought something was wrong. But I would just let time and see whether it fixes itself on its own. Like I just don't. It's bad. I should not be that way. But I just despise the doctors so much that I just won't go. But I mean, fingers crossed that the blood test comes back for you and that you don't have anything. But
yeah, well, do you know what? I'm going to Turkey in a couple of weeks, and I'm just gonna go. When I'm out there, I'm gonna do like a full body checkup, and I want to get everything scanned. I just want to check everything is completely okay, because it's literally made me think, oh my god, you just never know. And like what's mad is like I'm seeing more and more people that are younger, like our age, get cancer or just have problems. You know what I mean? And I think you think, oh, it won't happen like if you're older maybe, but you always think it's never going to be you. So it's just better to just check things.
Our habits are worse, though. I think as a younger, like I'm bad for it. Like I get a sunbed every week. Like people obviously say don't get sunbeds because of skin cancer and things like that.
My dad's had skin cancer like 5 times. You know?
Really?
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
Yeah.
That's a lot. The thing is I'm sensible with it, where I know everyone's like, all right, sunbeds, don't go, skin cancer, etc., etc. I'm one of them that I'll go once every 10 days just to top up, and it will literally be like 8 minutes, 10 minutes. And my attitude towards it is, like, I'm not being funny. I've just been South Africa for 35 days in UV, 11 or 12 there, 6 hours a day in the sun. That's a 10-minute sunbed is the equivalent of spending 4 hours in the sun.
Yeah.
Yes, they're bad for you, but I just can't stand looking pale. And I know it's bad, but I just can't not do it. I just have to be, you have to be careful with it. Just don't burn. Because I always read up that basically skin cancer, or the chances of skin cancer, is to do with like the mutation of cells. And obviously when you burn your skin, that is an increased chance of cell mutation. So obviously as long as I'm careful with it, and as long as I'm not burning, like if I was pale as anything and I went on for like 12 minutes and burnt myself, I know that I've just been an idiot and that I'm probably causing myself some damage.
Yeah.
Whereas if I just, every now and again, it's still bad, but unfortunately it's just you pick your poison, don't you? And mine is probably gambling, drinking and sunbeds. So
yeah, listen, I get it, because you just want to enjoy your life a little bit, and like these are the little things that you fancy to make you look good. But the only thing I would say is it is the UV rays. Like it is bad for you. And the difference with the natural sun is, firstly, it's natural sun, and also you can use SPF. Like it's not gonna really make a difference if you use SPF on a sunbed. It's still really bad for you.
I should really stop, to be honest. Well, I would love to say that my week's been better than your week, but it actually hasn't. I attended a family friend's funeral this week,
sorry,
which is
laugh. I'm just laughing at the first part of that sentence because we just sound like a depressed
wreck. This is a bleak week. This has been a bleak week. I went to a family friend's funeral this week. It's like my 3rd or 4th funeral now. Most miserable things ever. I will never ever get a funeral for myself. When I die, please don't have a funeral. I'm just gonna leave a load of money that people can just go on some fat sesh and just celebrate life.
What?
I don't do it.
No, see, I want people crying over me.
No, yeah, but that's the type of person you are.
If you
just
don't
want
cry
people
over
crying
me,
over you.
I will haunt you, bitch.
No, I'm not having one. And then I'd tell you the funniest story. I haven't actually told you this. I put this on my story. This is ridiculous. So I I go everywhere with my AirPods, right? Like if I'm going into London, normally if I'm Ubering home or anything like that, gym. The other day I went to find my AirPods and they're always in the same place. They're always on my desk. And I think I was either going to the gym or just listening to my AirPods around the house or something like that. I couldn't find them anywhere. So I went straight to like find my iPhone thing, like the Find My app. And I see my AirPods just in the middle of Loughton. And I was just like, what? Like, I was proper confused because I was thinking, what? I just didn't get it. And then all of a sudden, like 5 minutes later, I see him in like Waltham Abbey. And I was like, okay, something's like, where are my AirPods? So I checked my car, I checked every jacket I had, I checked everywhere in the house, couldn't find them. My AirPods were fully doing a tour around Essex. And I was thinking, how is my AirPods, like, have I been pickpocketed? I didn't even know. Because I went back on my calendar, I was like, right, when did I last have my AirPods? And it was like Thursday. And I always take them to gym, never ever take them out until I get in the car. Check my bank statement. I was like, I paid for car parking at the gym. So I was like, right, I definitely had them on Thursday because I would not gym without them. I refused to gym without headphones. Yeah. And then it was the Friday that I basically didn't go to the gym, but I would have had them from Thursday. And then I'm thinking, how have my AirPods just suddenly teleported somewhere? Like I just didn't get it. And I was seeing them. It went from Loughton, Waltham Abbey. It was in London XL Centre. Then it was in like near Sawbridgeworth where I am. I was thinking, who is this guy who's taking my AirPods for an absolute tour? And I was stressing so much, thinking it must be an Uber driver, or it must be someone that's just picked them up. It must have fallen out my pocket. So then all of a sudden I'm stressing because I'm like, right, how do I track this guy down? Because I actually saw a TikTok of you know Mashtag?
Yeah.
So he did it where he was like, he travelled across the world to go and find someone who had taken his AirPods.
No way.
And I was like, well, I'm going to do it. I'm actually going to track this guy down. Like, I will have it out. Like, I want my AirPods back there. It's probably like my 5th pair I've lost this year.
Ron, you could have just messaged me. If it meant that much, I would have bought you another pair of AirPods.
Well, no, it's the principle. I'm not having someone take my AirPods.
I think he was more like, it seems like you was more like, what, how?
Yes,
like,
I was so confused. So then I was like, right, I'm getting in my car and I'm tracking this guy down. Like, I'm having it. So then all of a sudden he was like 20 minutes away from me and I thought, this is perfect. I'm going to go there. Okay. But until he goes somewhere else, I'm going to go and track him down. And I thought, right, I was getting ready. Like, I had my golf clubs in the back. I was going to pick a 2-iron up and just wrap it around his head or something. If it got to that anyways, I was going to like bally up, put a barricade on and things like that. But then I ended up driving. Yeah, right. And then I was like, wait, I know where I'm going. Like, this is down, I know where it was. It was near Sawbridge Road. And like my mate's dad lives there. Yeah. And I was like, oh, this is all right. It's a nice area. So like no one's going to have it out of me. I'm just going to go knock on someone's door. And they're probably going to be like, oh, well, I'll get my son. And my son's probably got him. He picked him up at the gym or whatever. And I'm driving there and I'm like, wait, hold on a second. Get down this road. All of a sudden, I see my mate's car on his parents' drive. And I'm like, this is way too strange. But like, this is too much of a coincidence. But it still didn't make sense. I still didn't clock what happened. I then pulled outside and then his mum come out and was like, what are you doing here? Like, and I said, I know it sounds really weird, but someone on this road's got my AirPods. And she was like, well, can you track them? So then all of a sudden you're on the Find My, you can get like a close proximity. Yeah. I then go and it's in my mate Jake's car. And I'm like, why have you got my AirPods? And he just started laughing. And I went, why? Like, how have they got there? And he said, well, didn't you just empty all your pockets at paddle at Friday evening? And obviously, I was like, I don't bring my AirPods to paddle. So then all of a sudden, like, he's giving me AirPods back. And I was so stressed because my adrenaline was rushing, thinking, I'm actually going to have it out with someone in like this rural area over a pair of £200 AirPods. I was fuming. Like, I was absolutely fuming. And I was more angry at myself because why have I lost them? Have I been, like, robbed? Yeah. And I said, I've been following your every move all day for about 4 hours straight. I've tracked him from London to Waltham Abbey, Loughton, all the way to his parents' house. And I was like, what have you been doing all day? Because I've just been thinking no one else other than an Uber driver would be going to these locations. Yeah. And he basically just went, I've just been at some like baby expedition at XL Centre. Basically, they were testing out prams because he's expecting. I was like, this is the most stressful thing, but I got them back in the end.
So wait 1 minute. I don't get it. How did they end up in there? You just empty. You don't really remember that.
No, because on paddle, when I played paddle on the Friday night, I think I'd just come from gym or I'd come from somewhere and I just emptied all my pockets out in his bag so they wouldn't get lost. But obviously I only ever take my wallet, my keys and my phone to paddle. So then I've obviously picked them up, not realising why have I got my AirPods for paddle? Like I don't need them for paddle.
Yeah.
Forgetting that they were there and they was in his paddle bag in his car.
Okay,
Honestly,
well,
it was the most stressful thing. But one thing I'll happily say is that Find My app on iPhone is a lifesaver.
It is
a lifesaver.
Because whenever I leave things everywhere. I would even leave my brain if
Oh, so you need those little tags, those Apple tags.
Yeah, I'm useless. So I feel like I even track that all the time. I'm like, oh, I've left them at my house or Eddie's house. Do you know what I mean? Because I stay with Eddie's now anyway.
Yeah.
But I know where I've left everything. Do you know what I mean?
Oh,
Sometimes
honestly,
I even leave it at my sister's.
I never lose anything. The only thing I lose is AirPods when I'm pissed in the back of a night out. And the most annoying thing in the world is I will lose my AirPods every time. But one little tip, do you know you can buy single AirPods?
Shut up.
So I've spent probably...
What? Since when?
I've probably spent $2,000 on AirPods over the last 2 years of losing them, right?
Yeah.
But this year, because I'd piss from a night out and I'd lose like, I don't know, the left one or the right one. And you know, when you find my iPhone, you can see that it's disconnected or I'll lose one. It will be in some random back end street because the battery would have died on it, right? So you can never get it back. If you go on Apple's website, you can buy, if you put in your, like the product ID, you can buy whatever one you've lost and it's 80 quid rather than spending 230 quid on a new pair.
I had no idea. That's so good.
So there you go.
That's
There's
mad.
a little money saving tip for about 150 quid saved. I mean, don't recommend losing them in the first place. But honestly, my week's just been, it's just been ag. That's all it is.
We sound like literally depressed fucks, honestly. We need a therapist after this.
Started therapy.
Have you?
Started therapy.
Well done. I'm really proud of you.
Yeah. Not in the sense that I need therapy.
What made you make, like, how was you feeling? I didn't know about this. Are you okay, Ron?
No, it was basically after like the show, they give you the after therapy.
Yeah. I've used that too.
And then normally I wouldn't, like, I don't really get on with, I find therapists, they fish for information. Like if I said, I don't know, if I said that I'm distraught about something or like I'm upset about something, they go, oh my God, this is really bad. Like I just feel like they exaggerate a lot of things and they try and dig into something, I don't know, deeper.
Yeah.
And I think the show, they know they need to give you therapy because of what goes on the show.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, I think everyone needs a little bit of therapy these days.
Yeah, I agree, which I never used to believe that. But then now I'm like, no, I think it's a good thing. And I think after everything that you go through on the show, obviously after everything that's happened over the years with like Love Island, I think it's a good thing that they now, well, I mean, they wouldn't need to if you didn't do half the stuff you did on there, but it's a good thing that they give you that support network. And I think you get... I think it's like 8 sessions or 10 sessions.
I actually think it's unlimited, you know. If you need more, you can get more. I remember
I don't know, to be fair. I'm just going for the first ones. Because basically, I met this lovely, like, she's one of them that works on the show.
What's her name? We don't say.
And probably, I don't even know.
Yeah.
So then, basically, I met her on the show and I would spend a lot of time in the show, basically taking my mic. You're allowed like an hour with her. So I got on so well with her, but I would always talk about the show stuff. I never really spoke about like myself at home. Whereas this time, I'm going to see if I can trust myself to give her a bit more like personal information about how I am as a person outside and just talking. To be fair, I think it's just a release for an hour where I can literally sit there. I can talk about what's going on. I can talk about just anything that's going on in my life, how I'm coping with things. Not that I even necessarily need it, that I'm feeling like... I think there's this stigma about therapy where you need to be feeling a certain type of way, like down or depressed or whatever.
Can be, but also you can have moments where you feel good and bad.
Well, I'm a massive overthinker and like anxious. So she gave me 2 techniques to actually work on. So the first technique is, I think she calls it grounding.
You've
done this when you was in there. So grounding would be, and I honestly think it's amazing. So when you're overthinking, it is, say, like just in the moment, wherever you're sat, like right now, it'd be, right, say 5 things that you can see. So I'd be like, right, I can see Tanyel, I can see a tree, I can see a computer, a microphone, and a Red Bull can. Then it'd be 4 things that you can hear. So then you go through the 4 things, 3 things you can touch or feel.
Taste.
Yeah, 2
when
things
they
you
do
can
the
taste.
taste though, I'd be like, I don't know what I taste, but
like,
I'm thinking of food.
Like dry, like dry. I'd just be like, oh, dry mouth. But then in that moment of going through those things, because you're just thinking about right that second, it stops you from thinking about everything. It stops you from thinking about absolutely everything that's on your mind.
I think it works sometimes, and I don't think it works all the time, though. I think if you're really stressed and you're really anxious about something, sometimes it's hard to just get your mind off of things, but I do think it helps. I just think sometimes, like, you know, sometimes I feel like it's okay to just be a little bit anxious and worry, and then it goes. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's how if I'm going through like, I get it a lot in the car. So on drives, like I literally the other week.
Why
do you remember?
Think that though? Yeah,
I don't know.
I literally the other week, guys, I met Ron and he literally come in like shaking, wasn't you? And I was really worried.
It was so weird.
I was so upset, and I just felt so sorry for you.
It was the strangest thing. So like we'd planned to have a catch up. Like we hadn't done a proper one, so we went for like this Italian. And I was driving. I was just like, oh God, I don't know what's going on. But my heart was racing, everything. I had nothing.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about, because my driving time is I can think about a million things. That's the problem. And then when I sat down, I was just shaking.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't feel like I should. But I was just had so much going on, but nothing at the same time.
But you couldn't even control it. Like you was probably shaking.
I was pure shaking. I think sometimes when I'm in that state, I just need to ground myself and just sort of think about the moment. And then every time it gets really bad, then do it. Rather than doing it all the time.
Yeah, of course.
Otherwise, I'd be sat there all day just
thinking and tasting.
Oh my God, 5 things that I can see, 5 things I can hear.
That's funny. It'll drive you mad in the end. You won't even be working.
Honestly. But yeah, so that's my...
No, but I'm proud of you for taking that step because, you know what I find? A lot of men are embarrassed to go therapy. Just a lot of people, not all of them, but there's nothing wrong with it. Like you should be able to... I think it's more embarrassing if you can't actually talk about your feelings and address things, and say if you are going through a shit phase, then being able to resolve it. Do you know what I mean? Like a lot of men find it. I
don't mind. Well, I'm I think because I'm very
secure in yourself.
Yeah, and like I'm quite emotionally intelligent, so I don't mind talking about.
I don't know about that one.
No, come on, I am
to a certain extent.
But I don't mind talking about it. Like I don't feel. Like around the boys, yeah, you can put on like this, I don't know, people, alpha or like macho man sort of thing. Don't mind that. Yeah, when you're sitting in a pub watching football, because it's bloke stuff.
What do you feel like though has got you? Do you feel like you've got more anxious lately? Do you think Love Island has encouraged that?
I think the first time going on, yes, I was, because I think your life changed so much, and I don't know, like I'm not a socially anxious person, but I remember having social anxiety going to the gym after I left. But then now for this one, I think I've just kept the anxiety a little bit from the show. And then this time, I am but I admit it myself. Like I know that I'm a massive overthinker because I care a lot about what's going on or like people's feelings. So I do, basically in the session, one of the things that she sort of said that I do, which I do know I do.
Yeah.
Basically, being an overthinker, I will plan for every scenario. I'll have 100 different outcomes, and I will plan a solution for every single one of them outcomes. And then what will happen is none of them...
Because you're so anxious, you've thought of it so much, you've overthought every single situation and scenario, rather than just relaxing and enjoying the experience.
Yeah, but I do it in natural life because I want to prepare for absolutely anything that can go wrong.
But sometimes it's okay not to be in control of everything.
Yeah, but that's me as a person. I love being in control.
Freak, yeah.
Well, a little bit, yeah. So I'll plan for 100 different things, and then none of them will happen. And then I'll be like, oh, for fuck's sake, like, shit. But then she was like, that's what you do. Sometimes you just got to let it go.
Yeah.
Like, stop planning for something that could maybe never happen. But I'm like, well, at least I can protect myself when I do plan for it.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, it's just the way my brain is. But because I know that about myself, I don't run around going, oh, why do I think this way? Like, what's wrong with me? I just know that's how I am as a person.
No, but then at least that's good that you're taking that step to kind of like make yourself feel and think healthier.
Yeah, I think so many people probably are the same with overthinking, like anxiety. They probably. One thing that I will say, okay, and I don't know whether this is like controversial or not. These days, because we talk about it more, I actually had this thought the other day.
Yeah.
Because we talk about it more, and we talk about our feelings more, I think there's a pro to that because you're dealing with it.
Yeah.
But I also think the negative of that is the fact that I think it encourages people feeling anxious because they think, oh, maybe I do.
No,
and then
I
they
agree with
start getting anxious over something.
I so agree with you.
And I think it kind of causes a lot of anxiety and it causes a lot of things.
Causes you to overthink even
It's
more.
good for those people that have it and they need to solve it. But because I talk about it more, because I'm more aware of it over the last couple of years of having like this big push on talking about mental health and stuff, I think sometimes it causes it because I'm thinking, oh, maybe I should talk about, because then it makes me think I've got even more of it. Whereas if it was never spoken about.
But also people think it's more of a problem. Whereas what I think people need to realise is having anxiety is actually very normal.
Yeah.
Not saying that you shouldn't go and get it sorted and like try and, but it's not like cold. You get over it.
Yeah.
Like people need to realise it's just something you live through in life. And as you get older, I don't know how you feel, but I feel like I've got more anxious with age. Bad things happen in life. Like good things happen in life, but you're more aware, like you just can overthink things naturally. And I just think it's just a part of life's journey.
It's just your brain chemistry.
Yeah, 100%.
People just think differently.
Do you know what I found though after Love Island? I feel like the only way I got anxious, not really with what people thought of me or anything like that. Like, because I think I come out quite loved. It was more like I had social anxiety.
Around group scenarios.
Yeah.
Like out in public.
Really, really badly.
Yeah, definitely.
But I've always said to you, even before, remember I'd always say like I keep my circle small, and I still obviously like that. But even like events and stuff, I actually genuinely don't always like a lot of them, and I'm really trying to stay away from them.
See, I switch into gear. I'm like, if I go to an event or if I go somewhere, I will switch into a new character and I will like be myself, but I'll go, right, this is where confidence kicks in.
Yeah.
I'm going to turn into like, I can switch on confidence. Not, I'll get home and like, I'll be my usual self. But when I need to be confident in a certain scenario, I'll do it. Like
Yeah.
I can put that on. And it's not a bad thing. I just
Yeah.
know how to, like, for example, I've done talks in front of, I don't know, like 300 people.
Yeah.
Like I can switch on confidence. Yes, I'm shitting myself inside,
Oh, really?
but I can switch it on because that's part of the role.
At least it's good though for work and stuff that you're able to do that. I just feel like, I don't know, like in group situations, I feel like it depends on the vibe I get around me. If I feel it's really positive and it's people that I like and I'm fond of, I'm so myself. But I'm at this stage in my life where I just can't be bothered to be around people if I don't really know you that well and I'm not that keen on your...
I think it's just because we lose our
whatever.
patience.
Yeah.
I
And
don't-
you know
I don't
what?
need to meet
But
any more
one thing
people.
though that therapy really taught me, because I took my lessons as well. I actually didn't in the very beginning when I come out of Love Island. They were like, let's book you in. And I said, no, I don't need it, because genuinely I really didn't feel like I needed
Yeah.
it. And even when I started them, I still didn't actually feel like I needed them. It was more because I wanted to keep boundaries with certain things. Yeah. And I didn't realize that at the time. But when I spoke to my therapist, she was very much like, you just need to set boundaries. It's okay to say no to certain things. And that was my main thing, because I didn't want to ever let someone down.
Yeah.
Or like I didn't, it's similar to you really, like I would overthink situations, or like what if I upset this person. But then do you know what I realised in life? You just got to think, go fuck yourself. And then you'll be a lot
Nice.
happier.
Nice. No, I do agree with that. If you don't care what people... you get it with like... I'm not being funny. I'm a bloke that posts content about like fashion and
Yeah.
like, I have to look silly on like Instagram
Yeah.
and stuff.
I don't feel like we care about stuff like that. I don't give a shit. Like
I do a little bit, but when I'm...
you?
Well, yeah, because when I'm in the... I'm like, no, do you know what? I'm going to get grilled by my mates. I'm going to get grilled by people that look... Honestly, when I posted this... I don't know, it was like a fashion thing round the pool. I was doing like dancing to whatever track it was, like Kendrick tune. And I'm just like, oh God, I know I'm going to get stick for this, but you have to do it. And my mates grilled me for it. But I'm like, boys, it's my job now. Sorry. Like, because I have an attitude of when I post stuff like that, don't care. I don't care what people think of it. If it's shit, it's shit. If it blows up, it blows up. I don't care. And that's why I'm so bad at content, because I stress so much about, is it the right... Is it good enough to post, or does it look weird? Whereas now I'm trying to get into the, like, my fucking management go on all the time, post. Now I'm just trying to get into a phase of just stop caring how good it looks. Just fucking post it. Like, and that's how, that's why I only used to post like once a month, because I'm like, oh, I need it to be good. But now I'm like, oh, I'm getting better. Still probably only about 3 a month, but.
So if there's something that you've learned from therapy, everything, your situation, how you was feeling, to how you are now, what would you advise someone else in your situation?
Just admit it. Just know that you're an overthinker. Know that you're anxious.
And
But
it's
not a bad thing.
Yeah.
Like, yes, you can work on it, but it's not a bad thing to have anxiety.
Yeah.
Like, everyone has some level of anxiety. There's only some people that literally don't have a care in the world. I would actually say it's a good thing to sometimes be anxious and sometimes a good thing to overthink, because it just means you're nervous or it means you care.
Yeah.
Like, one of the sayings of when you do like a show and someone says, "Oh, I'm really nervous," you're nervous because you care.
Yeah.
So for me, I just look at it and go, "Oh, it's because I care about something."
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
all
yeah.
it is. I just think I try and like, it's a positive. Like, obviously, if it's crippling anxiety, then yeah, there's a bit more of an issue that you need to work on. Like turning up to an Italian shaking, probably not a good sign. But it just means I obviously care about what's going on. But
you also had probably just a bad day of like thinking about things that you're probably stressed. Do you know?
That's all it is. I think it's just stress.
And it's like that's where I think it's okay sometimes. But if you ever feel like you're going crazy in your mind, it's just good to speak to someone.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
So now on that subject, I want to ask you, like, what things do you find actually help? Like, what would you advise other people, or what do you do for yourself that would help you with your mental health, anxiety, and stuff like that?
I would say not necessarily routine, but I would say there's certain things that I do in the day that will take a big chunk of, like, it will basically take me a while. It will take my mind off of something for like an hour or two. So like, I'll make sure I'm a bit hit and miss with it. But if I go to the gym, I know that when I'm in the gym, I will just play loud music. I will probably smash a bag for like half hour, and I'll just it just like I'm not thinking about anything else other than hitting a punching bag or lifting weights. And for me, that's like a good one thing that I have noticed that I stopped doing now is, especially it helps doing boxing, I don't touch my phone. My phone, the only thing that's on my phone is the timer for like the rounds. Whereas if I'm doing weights, in between sets, I get on my phone, scroll on Instagram, 30 seconds later, put it down, pick it back up. Whereas when I'm boxing, I can't touch my phone because I'm hitting a bag. So that's it. So that's probably the easiest thing for me when I go to the gym, or if you have like a sport, or loads of people getting into run clubs now. If you're getting into run clubs, you're not on your phone and you're running for half an hour if you're doing 5K or longer. That's like not talking about, like not thinking about anything other than what you're currently doing in the moment. It's like anything that stimulates your mind. But I think anxiety's been this week, perfect example, probably the last 2 weeks. You know that TikTok trend, the somebody's watching me. Yeah, it's my anxiety. Yeah, it's that. It's like, although, it's a trend and we're all joking about it because everyone's doing the dancing of what their brains
But it's mad how
like.
that everyone is literally, like, the way they're filming that and what you see on TikTok is everyone, it just goes to show everyone to be reassured that everyone's got it.
Exactly.
And how well they understood it so well. Do you know what I mean?
And you know where it originally comes from?
Huh?
Do you know where that song originally comes
Where?
from? Well, it's from, or that dance anyways, it's from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Oh, yeah, I saw that because he posted that.
So that's where dance come from. And in my head, I'm thinking, we should do that TikTok actually. Although, have you even got rhythm? Can you even do that?
I can dance better than you, Ron.
But it just shows you that everyone, like, it's such a big trend. Yes, the song is catchy, but it's about anxiety. Yeah. So I don't know. Why? What do you do?
So I actually feel like my best advice, and honestly it works so well for me, is you need to stay busy. You know what? When you are quiet and you're bored and you're not doing anything or you're not working hard enough, you've got too much time to overthink. Because when I'm sat at home, if I'm doing nothing, I've got too much time on my hands. What do? You think. And that's where I feel like it's bad. It damages you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but what can you do in the evening? Say it's 8 o'clock till 12.
I'm so busy these days. I don't even get the chance to think. Do you know what I mean? Everyone has I still have anxiety, don't get me wrong. Like, my anxiety is with work. Oh my God, have I forgotten this for tomorrow? Or I've got this, or I've got that. I'm managing like tons of things at the minute. Hair, podcasts, adverts, everything. Like, I literally feel like I'm managing so many different things, like my products. Sometimes I feel like, oh my God, I feel like I just need to be left alone. Do you know what I mean? Like, when you just need me time. So that's where it goes to, it's good that I work that hard. At the same time, though, that's when self-care comes in. For me,
holidays.
Ron, let's just talk about this actually, because I want to tell everyone, because actually I feel like people don't realise how I actually take care of myself. Like, every weekend, innit, I'm in a massage.
Oh, when he rung me the other day. Literally, did I ring you or did you ring me?
I can't remember.
Honestly, like, I think I rung her or whatever to talk about the podcast. And she was like, oh, can I call you back? I've just finished the massage. And I'm like, whoa, what?
Yeah.
It's like a Wednesday daytime. I was like, what are you doing? She was like, yeah, no, I've got a bit of time off from clients. And all of a sudden I was like, what, you've gone to a massage on your own? She was like, no, it was a couple. So I'm like,
yeah.
you and Eddie
So
said,
me and Eddie have our weekly, like weekends, normally we go for a massage. Honestly, I really look after myself and I love it. We have such a good time together. But other than that, I go Pilates 2 or 3 times a week. That's my me time where I'm away from anyone. Even if, like, say my partner, if he was pissing me off, which he doesn't. But it's just, I'm away from anyone and I'm there for myself. Do you know what I mean? And that's my little time to work out. And the way I see working out, and this is why I advise it to everyone, whether you're skinny or fat, go to the gym. Go to the gym or have a workout that you do, whether it's Pilates or like a class or whatever. Just do something. I agree with that. Because the way I see it is, right, anxiety is things going into your brain, yeah? How to get it out is to release it. And the only way you can release that is by, I don't know, like when you're boxing, you're taking out your frustration. Like Pilates, I'm taking out that energy onto something and then I just feel like, oh, calm.
Well, it's a stimulant. So it's like something else is stimulating your brain rather than the worry and anxiety. So if something else is stimulating you where you're focusing on thinking about something else, like me hitting a bag or someone doing Pilates, like running, or like, I want to start. Honestly, what I reckon, one thing that I'm going to start doing is puppy yoga. Like if I've got puppies all over me. I wanted to do that,
but you know I'm a little bit OCD, right?
Yeah.
I just.
What?
Don't touch me.
What? They're puppies. What are you on about? You've got kittens.
And I wash them once a week. Can you believe that? I can't. I'm really. I have got a bit of OCD, you know. Like, even like in my mind, like things play over and over again, like, and I've got to recheck things that I've already checked 3 times. I've actually got OCD. Yeah. I'm not even joking. Like bleach everything 24/7. It's not normal. But so you see, everyone has their ways and it's okay as long as it's obviously not too excessive, because if it is, then that's when you need to try and work with it. But yeah, I just feel like, I don't know, like I just feel like working out for me really helps. Also reading books. Like, I feel like there's so many books, right? Let me find out one of them that I've read, because there's a few. The Secret, everyone loves. The
Secret? Well, these are anxiety books, or are these just normal books? No,
just help you in life. The Power of Positive Thinking. What I've noticed is one thing about anxiety is you feel negative, right, after being so anxious, because you can't help it. You're just overthinking. And you're never thinking good things, otherwise you wouldn't be anxious. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if you consume yourself in that and you let that happen to you, then bad things will start to happen. Whereas when you realize, if you try and get out of that by doing these different things in your life and adding in positive things, like especially like one thing you'll learn is if you wake up in the morning and you have a positive outlook for the rest, it happens for the rest of that day. Rarely anything will go wrong.
Sometimes it's snap into that though.
If you wake up though and you're like, right, today's shit, I feel shit, I'm unhappy.
Oh no, I wouldn't do that.
But some people do, and they can't help it because they're in that mood. But do you know what? Yeah, you fucked your day up. You really fucked your day up, because the whole of that day will be so rubbish. And another thing for people that are suffering a bit and being a bit anxious at the minute or going through anything, it's easier said than done, but try and avoid people that around you that are really negative. Because I swear to you, like there's this thing that I read up on, right? And they say like if there's one negative person in a group and they're working on something, most likely they will fail than being in a group full of all positive people. Because that one negative person ruins the outcome of that group. And that is how I feel if I'm around anyone negative. So from now on, I've really learned to set boundaries. And for overthinkers, you will feel bad to be like, no, or, you know, set them boundaries. But you know what? If you don't, then you're going to live a life of not hell, but like, you're just not going to live for yourself, and you're going to be unhappy a lot of the time because you're too busy trying to please others.
I have got better
at
that.
Boundaries.
My mates will tell you I am like, I can find fault in anything. Like I will be not negative. Well, they do. They call me, you know what they call me? They always send in the gif of Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh. You know, the depressed, like donkey. Is it donkey?
That's not a good one. I feel like I need
to I know. But that's the thing. I've got better at being positive about other things, or just not having that negative outlook, because I do agree, like if you are constantly finding fault in things, you forget to find the positive in whatever you're doing. Whereas these days I'm like, no, it's a good thing. And that was another thing that, speaking to like therapists about her, she'd always say, right, no matter what it was actually about in the villa was the main thing for it, because I hated it so much. They'd go, right, forget everything, just name me 2 positive things that's happened today.
Yeah.
She'd go, what are 2 things? And I would go, the sun was nice today. Like I sunbathed. I caught a tan. Or we played, I don't know, like, it was like a crap game around us, like with a pillow and a fake apple. Like I'd go, they're my two positives of today.
Yeah.
So even nowadays, I'd be like, right, what have I done today that's positive? Or like, what happened the other day? I found my AirPods. Like I managed to get them back and I didn't get into a scrap
It's
over
true.
them. And then, filming podcasts today, like it's fun. So for me, it's like finding 2 or 3 positive things of a day rather than going, I had such a bad day today.
100%, which is what leads on to perspective. It's like, if you, like, for example, you could sit here and say, like, we all have an odd moment. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not, like, so you're allowed to say, I've had a shit day. Yeah, like how we started off being so negative.
It's actually so true.
In hindsight, like, genuinely, I actually think day to day, I am so lucky. Like, I sit there and think, you know what? Thank God I have so many clients. I have such a good income. Like, I have so much work. Like, some people are struggling out there. Do you know what I mean? You see people who are so, like, struggling so much that they can't even afford certain things that we just look past and think this is minor.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I just think I am so lucky. Look at these people that can't even fend for their family. Do you know what I mean? Just little things like that. And I think when you have that outlook on life and you're so grateful, that's when gratitude comes in. So then when you're so grateful, honestly, I feel like then things start to come in abundance. And when you're so negative and then you've got the other approach, nothing goes right for you because you're just miserable. And that's why I can't stand to be around people that are so negative. If there's anyone around me that constantly complains, constantly is just negative, don't get me wrong, you're allowed to have a bad day. If bad things go wrong, you can't help that. And of course you can complain. But I try wherever I can to have the best perspective with things, because there's someone out there that is so much like that is suffering way more than you.
1 million%.
Do you know what I mean? Like, we are actually so lucky. And that's why, I've got this thing in life where if you know how people see someone else doing better and they can be like a hater on them or whatever, I'm just like, if anything, teach me how to be like you. I aspire to be like you. I would never, that is not in me. Like, I always want to be better and I love seeing people do well. Do you know what I mean?
So
and like,
true.
if you're that person, you always do well. And that's why we are so happy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it's quite good because we literally started the episode saying what a shit week we've had. And we've actually somehow spun it into like a bit of an education, a bit of an insight on anxiety and stuff.
Yeah.
But that's a much more positive outlook on, and it's probably a good place to end the episode. Hopefully you lot have enjoyed learning about that. We do suffer with it, but we have our solutions.
Yeah, and it's okay to suffer with it. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. Like, you're human.
Exactly.
You're not a robot. It's normal. But there's ways to manage it. Do you know what I mean? And there's a way to have your like outlook on life, I suppose.
Definitely. Well, hopefully this episode has been somewhat helpful to those that probably struggle with it. Insightful. Probably wasn't the most uplifting, but our podcast is all about different things. We don't have to laugh the whole time.
And
we can educate.
I hope I've made someone else feel better today, like about what they're going through. Not to say as well though, there's serious, like, obviously there's other things like serious mental health out there, and some people cannot control how they feel, and you can't. Like, it's not about controlling. It's just, I hope I could help someone. Do you know what I mean?
What a lovely way to end this week's episode.
Yeah.
Well, make sure you like, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Bye, guys.